So as I said yesterday, we're going to be working on some quarantine projects, and I'm going to have everybody just follow along, and we're going to really just open the doors to what I do here, how I design things, how we build a custom guitar from the ground up. So this is far from a normal time here in the factory, here by myself pretty much, and I thought it's a great opportunity to just take away some of the distractions that are normally there and just focus on some creative things. And to be honest, it's just good for me as well to be able to get out of the usual headspace. So to kind of keep in the tradition of doing what nobody expects me to do, I've decided I'm going to build a Weissenborn style guitar. It's a pretty rare instrument. You really don't see very many of them at all. You know, you see a lot more lap steels and that kind of thing. But the Weissenborn style is a pretty unique beast. I was just telling somebody yesterday, when you walk around the NAMM show, you know, you might see one Weissenborn and you know, a show of a couple of thousand guitars. But that doesn't stop me from deciding to want to make one. Not just make one, I'm going to make a mold. I'm going to make it, it's actually going to become potentially a production guitar from Emerald, and why not, you know. We build our harp guitars, we build our little 12-string guitars, guitars that don't sell in big volumes, but whenever we make them, people love them, and it just lets people let people know that we can do things a little bit more creative. So why think about a Weissenborn guitar? Well, I think like anything else, it's a little bit, you know, just an idea that came out of nowhere by chance. I've always been interested in the music of Ben Harper. I was listening to a few of his CDs and kind of wondering what that sound was that was layering across so many of the tracks, and I discovered that was the Weissenborn. I had a friend who's mentioned multiple times, Alistair, why don't you build a Weissenborn? He's not a guitar player, but just again loves the sound of them. And one or two people just recently out of the blue have inquired, would Emerald ever build a Weissenborn? So it's just like one or two things just build up in your mind when you think, right, okay, we're just going to build one of these things. The other thing is carbon fiber works really well for building something like that. It's a bit of an unusual shape with that hollow neck, and you know, just with that structure, that's what we do well. You know, it's not unlike the harp guitars in a lot of ways. It's a structure I'm very comfortable with. It's something I understand. I understand how to make that sound good. So that plays in our favor. So what I've been doing here is, well, I've been thinking about it for a long time. But just this morning, I've been sitting thinking about different sizes, trying to work out this kind of specifications we'd go for. A lot of Weissenborns are actually quite small guitars. Tend to have a smaller body, maybe 3.5 inches, some of them 3 inches. And I think in my mind, I want to build something that's got a lot of acoustic power. So this is an acoustic instrument, and I really see, in my mind, I can see it being played alongside of our other guitars. So I just think it's something that needs to have good acoustic presence. So I think I'm kind of thinking that size-wise, it's going to be probably something closer to our Jumbo, something to our size closer to our X30. It's definitely a little bit bigger than what's usual for a Weissenborn style guitar, but I tend to not do things that are usual. So why not? So what I'm going to do today, I've been putting together some specs, some just ideas of sort of the dimensions. You know, really, I'm starting from scratch in this. I don't have one to work off. I'm just really trying to look at some benchmarks, think about how I would want it to be, how some others might want it to be, and I'm going to start to build a prototype. So how do I do that? Well, first thing I do is get the dimensions. I'll start with some basic sketches, probably make a cardboard cutout of it, and then I will make a 3-dimensional foam form of the Weissenborn. So you can follow along, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you right away, start to finish, show you all the things that I've never shown anybody before. So definitely check out, follow us on, we'll put this up on Instagram and Facebook and all our different platforms. So follow along and be part of that. Alright, so I think that's something I'm pretty much happy with. It's the first cardboard cutout. I really like the curves. I've decided to make it that the body will taper over a longer distance and taper right the way up to the headstock. I just think it gives it really nice curves and proportions. I'm going to go with dual sound holes either side here, these two nice teardrops that will run just down to the bottom of the fretboard end. Still kind of undecided on bridge. It could be this or something that's more traditional with our bridge design, or this, which is a new bridge design that I'm working on. Also kind of unsure at this stage about the end of the fretboard, whether I just keep it straight, square, or maybe do something that complements the fretboard. So, but that's pretty much it. Let's take it on to the next stage and make a physical 3D model. Okay, so back down in my booth, we've made the top template, the cardboard template. So that's our basic outline of what the instrument's going to be. Now I'm going to transfer it to foam. What I tend to use is just insulation foam. It's regular building insulation. It's a fantastic material for easily carving into a shape, and this will allow me to really see and, more importantly, feel how the instrument's going to be. I find that when I'm designing something, I really like to feel how it's going to sit, when I'm sitting playing, or in this instance where it's sitting on my lap. So that's what I'm going to do now. You can follow along. The thing I have to try and work out is just how deep I want to make it. Like the X30 or Jumbo is just over 5 inches deep. This right here is 4. Something tells me 4 is probably not far away. I don't want to make it too deep because it kind of raises your arms up too much. Then you don't want to be sitting up. That extra inch can make all the difference. I actually think the slightly wider body is going to work pretty well because it just fits nicely around your body here, and this creates a nice armrest as you're playing. Yeah, so far so good. So that's it, starting to come into some pretty nice shape, and I almost find myself wanting to, make it even more curvy. If you look at the back of my other guitars, they've got the bevels, and there's something about it. I feel like I need to add more curves, but the reality is, I think with this is it doesn't really need anything else. Yeah, there'll be some final shaping and detailing after we make it into a solid model. So next step from here is cover this over with fiberglass. Make it into a solid block, and then comes a lot of shaping and sanding.